let's talk first before we get all hooked up.
Okay.
Yes, it's not just for offense, it's actually like introduce ourselves. So we can try to be a little bit more official. I would, but it probably, my thought is better if you're already over here. Alright. Greetings. My name is Kevin Carlson. I am the Vice President of the Fencing Club. This is Scott. He's the President of the Fencing Club. Greetings. So, she did plan out what to say for this. So we're the Fencing Club. As far as I know, we've been around at least for 10 years. Pretty much as long as Peeler, our advisor, started coming here, who fenced nearly on a professional level. He became the alternative for a televised match. So if someone got injured, he would have been up to the fence on the TV. But no one got hurt, so he didn't get the opportunity. So now he does media production here for the school. He's also our advisor and the teacher of the fencing class. So the fencing class is a physical education credit. It's 2 hours once a week. That's worth 1 credit. And almost all degrees requires you to at least take 2 credits since it's physical education. So it covers that, and it's so much fun. Alright. So it's that. My personal history of fencing. I have been fencing from my first semester here, so that's nearly a year and a half ago. And everything I've learned, everything I've done has been through the college class here. And it's been great. At least I should at least think myself as a adept fencer, but when I compare it to like other people I fenced outside the club, not that good because like the people who fence in Syracuse, they fence on like an Olympic level. So yeah, but some buses are decently against that. All right, Scott.
Hey guys, I guess my fencing experience. I've been in the club my past 2 semesters. This is my 3rd semester here. Before that, I've been a fencer for about 6 years, working with all 3 of the blades. Today we're going to show you foil.
There's 3 blades with fencing. What we do here is foil. So let's say this foil. There's what's called right away. We can explain that more as we go. The target area is the torso area. So for right now, no, we don't tend to wear these, but if we're doing electric, it's wherever this electric vest covers. Okay, to answer your question, because one of the things that does this, it does not shock us. It's grounded and it's hooked up through the base back to the machine, so a very slight current can wind up going through it. This is all the exact same stuff that they use on an Olympic level. So if it works for internationally, it works for us, despite it being a little bit expensive. And by the way, all the stuff, you don't need to get your own stuff. Like I have my own stuff, Scott has some of his own stuff, but the club has all the stuff you need. In case you're curious. The 2 other blades are epee and saber. I can show you those later. Saber is most people tend to think of the more interesting one. It also has right away, but it involves slashing into the style as well, and target areas from the waist up. Historically, it's roughly based off of a mounted cavalry style fighting. And then there's epee, which has no right away, so it's whoever gets the other person first. And if you look at each other at the same time, instead of being no point, both people get a point. And the entire body's target area, so it doesn't matter where you get them. So I guess that's more closer to what you would see on, let's say, a battlefield, not just one nobleman fighting another nobleman because they struck his honor or whatnot. Because the sport of fencing started back in the 1600s as a way to deal with rivalries and arguments and so on. It's because there was not really a full legal justice system other than stabbing your opponent in a fencing match. All right. Any questions thus far? All right, shall we begin? Normally we have a director, but since only 2 of us, we're kind of going to self-direct. The director's purpose is to surely, if we're not doing any electric, to see if it was on target or off target, and to talk about right away. So to see if we both stab each other roughly about the same time, who have priority, who will actually get the point.
Got it. Does black tape mean bad?
No.
Okay.
That's just a durability. Alright, yours is still firing. Oh no, that reads as a bad one. I thought you were referring to on the bodyboard.
No.
You probably have enough reach to go all the way over to the chest.
Yeah.
Sorry for that, just give us a second. These blades slowly wear down over time. This is actually like a copper trace wire that comes all the way up here to the bottom to complete the circuit. It also makes them a little bit more expensive because, of course, they're Olympic standard. And over time, they just wear out, and it's generally cheaper and more time effective just to replace the entire blades than trying to replace a tiny little wire in there. All right, so toe check, come through. 1, 2, 3. Toe check. 1, 2, 3. One was off target. Maybe it's because I slid. 1, 2, 3. Is your vest plugged in? No, it's not. I see it dangling there. Left side. So that clips onto the electric vest. So that's how I can tell between on target or off target if the current can actually get past through. Okay. Again. 1, 2, 3. All these mine works. Okay. Alright, here's ones. Just so you know, before we wind up starting, the way right away works is at its simplest is whoever attacks first. The way you could, so you have to parry them, or get to the feint and bring their arm back, or you feint them and you get their arm to bring to come back, and then you could take the right way and attack, and they can't attack you. They can't attack you until they want to taking your right away. So a simple parry is 2-point line with me. It's just a redirect, and then you can go into attack. Now, you can't. No one can do it truly perfectly and get right away right all the time. So that's where priority comes in, where whoever's directing has to decide who actually had right away in that instance. And sometimes no one did, because we both went out to 7 shot at the same time, both guys shot at the same time. That's a simul, and no one gets a point for in the foil. So that way, though, they would get a point. Okay, ready, Scott? Ready? Thanks. Alright, so that was an off target to my leg here. It's not target area, so it's no point, but it still stops. And we recenter about where the center was at the time, so I believe that was about here. In case you're curious, yes, you can drive your opponent back so they can step off the ship. That's a strategy I particularly like and I particularly use. And if they step off the back of the strip, it's to me a red card and a point towards me. If they step off the side of it, it's to the yellow card if they step off again and it's a point towards me. And vice versa if he does that to me. Alright, ready, Scott?
Ready.
Also, in between us stopping, feel free to ask questions. Thanks. Should I say what I think?
Yeah.
You started coming in first, there was blade contact, so we stuck to your parry.
Thanks.
And then I got you at the same time. And then, right when you got me.
Yes.
Alright. So, since that I parried him, you can tell by hearing the blade contact. Sometimes you can't watch the blades, you're just going too fast and for the best people. So you have to listen to the blade contact. He came in, started attacking me. The blade contact would parry, and I immediately went into a riposte. best way to get a point if you can wind up pulling it off, and the most guaranteed to wind up actually getting it. And he remised into me, but then when I came back and riposted at the same time and got him, that means I have priority. He did not, that means I get the points. Understand? Any questions? So, welcome. By the way, we're going to be going to 5 points, first of 5. All right, let's go. Thanks. All right. So what happened there is that I did point line. That gives me priority, and as long as I keep it out there, I have it. What happens is that when he came to parry me, I did what's called a disengage. So slowly go to parry me. And I brought my blade around, keeping right away, so there's no contact, and got him. Him just off of muscle memory. Scott parried, and not realizing I didn't get my blade, me went to riposte. Alright? So it'd be 2-0. Ready? Reset. Thanks. Was that off target or on target?
Slap my mouse.
No, I'm saying
Unless
for
went
you.
down.
I'm just.
Oh, no.
Alright.
I don't know how you got on target.
Alright.
So what if you just miss completely, like the guy sidesteps, you miss
Yeah,
completely
passes.
because he come in and get
Even
points?
if you had all the right of way in the world, it doesn't count because you missed.
So, but I
and-
mean,
and he gets
if
you.
you have the advantage of the point, but if you miss, like Rustin missed, and he comes at you and hits, it goes to him.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the
Does
way
a
that.
miss account as a parry?
A miss is just a miss. Your attack failed, and immediately when it fails, you lose right away.
Okay.
It goes to your opponent. I could keep my arm out, it'd be right next to him, but since my attack missed and went between his arm, went between his leg, went over his head, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Also, the way the machine works, now, some of this could be the slight hits, because normally there's a timer there that's supposed to go off, you check a point, but we're not going to bother with that at the same time, especially if we don't have someone here to direct the match and direct the machine. But what actually will happen is that when one person lands, no matter on target or off target, it will lock up the machine, and there's about 0.25 milliseconds for your opponent to wind up landing as well. Otherwise, it's going to be one light, and if it was on target, there's no talker right away. All right. If you're actually stabbed with a sword, that would probably be all the time you'd have for continuing your momentum forward and getting your opponent. Before you realize, like, oh, I have a sword sticking out of my chest. All right, ready, Scott? That would make it 2.
Yes.
All right. Actually, thanks.
Oh, shit.
Ready, Scott? Thanks. All right. So that's just enough target to the air. Set it receive. Ready? Thanks. Yours. Parried him, but then he came back to attack. I was able to get my blade back over to him after I parried him fast enough before he landed. 2, 1. You find this interesting at all?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not pouring. Ready? Thanks. I got him in the mask.
So a mask is no point. It's got to be in the torso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starting technically on the U.S. standard and international BIP here is target area, but that only just started internationally like a year ago from the U.S. this fall. So we haven't got new masks with the conductive BIP or the conversion kits to make them into a conductive BIP. So next semester, that's when we're going to start having a bit of a target area. But for this semester, we haven't been. Sounds too soon. Ready, set? Thanks. Oh, my computer went to snooze.
But that was clearly yours.
I wanted to say that, but I also don't want to there's a rule within fencing that you can't argue on behalf of yourself.
Oh.
So all my instincts saying, don't talk, let someone else call it out. Because the only thing you can do is if I know Scott got me on target and the director can see I can concede to it. But that's pretty much the extent that you can argue about who got the point. Alright? So, will you concede that to me? Will you concede that to me?
Sure.
Alright. I don't like asking for points. So can that be 3-1 now?
No.
Race cut? Thanks. I didn't see a light there, but I know you got me.
Oh, yeah.
Felt it. Barely, but I felt it. I think that's move your hand away from your chest, Scott. That's odd. That I've noticed only happens if your bell guard touches your. I'm plugging your blade back. Let's see if this will work. That works. Just try stepping me.
It's down.
I know, but just try it again. Alright. Yeah, so normally that little yellow bar only happens when my bell guard, which is conductive, touches my vest. Okay. 3, 1.
Right there.
Great. Okay. Ready? Thanks.
Now, is it the first 1 to 5, or do you have to win by 2, or?
First one.
First to 5.
First to 5.
And that's the way we generally do it. Tournaments will actually go to the actual bracket, not the ranking ahead of time. The qualification will actually go to 15 points. That takes one. That's starting. Hello. Feel free to come all the way in to join everyone else. So yeah, luckily at least with that, you get breaks like every few minutes. You can stop, drink some water, rest. People can talk to you, give you suggestions about what you do better, what you can do better. All right, so 4, 2. Come all over here if you want. Don't worry about the camera. Thanks. Yep, I got me.
Now you're 3 all.
Now that put me at 4 and him 3. Let's go. Thanks. There I slipped past his mask and didn't have to press the button, so it didn't go off. So up your force. When it comes to sudden death, You're not required to, but it's traditionally, at least for us, don't know about our clubs, just leave your opponent. And that comes from an advisor and teacher, Bill. What you got? Fence. Thank you. All right. Any questions?
So, what are the other two, VP or Saber?
Epee and Saber. Yes. Are you gonna go grab those?
What?
Are you grabbing those?
I was getting my hat,
Oh,
but I can.
thank you.
So, how do you have to wear a full bodysuit or something like that, or what?
With Epee, it depends which way you do it. So technically, the best way to do it, and we don't have the best way to do it for foil. Foil limit would be a fully conductive suit, masks, all the way to gloves, and actual special pants. Though people are generally okay with like wearing orange shoes. Same thing with Saber from the waist up. But with that, you can kind of get away with just knowing whether you're on target or the floor. And the other thing like we could do better with foil is it costs a lot of money, but you get these aluminum strips. Here we go. So if my tip touches the floor accidentally, it won't go off. We'll just ignore it. And of course, it'd be nice if we didn't have such a low ceiling. So you can kind of see the valve damage. I didn't hit the ceiling at all during that match. I normally hit the ceiling at least 3 times a match. That's all. I know. I'm proud of myself, despite me just hitting the floor. All right. So the one here on my right is an Epee. One here on my left is a Saber. These are both analog, so they're not meant to be used. They're not to be used with electric fencing because they don't have any connectors in the bow guard. So if you guys want to pull them, look at them, you can.
So this is all visual, like you have
Yes.
somebody watching.
Yes, there's
How you get points.
yes, gentlemen, there'd be one person on one side shift, the other person on the other side shift, one person being director. Co-director and director has to watch one person as well as keep track of right away. The other person has to keep track of the other person and answer basic questions. But only one person talks about on the side right away, unless there's a machine, and only the other thing would be, let's say, a machine. Because if there's only one light, then there's only one light. You don't need to talk about right away. So yeah.
Whereas you see Saber, I think automatically the cavalry thinks Saber or something.
Yeah.
So
Mention-
it's basically, you would be learning how to use that type of sort of style. Is
Yes.
the only difference.
Yeah. And then if you want later, actually, if you really want right now, we could do a little bit of Saber. I'm no expert with Saber. I've barely fenced with Saber. Scott has done a little bit more with Saber. You want to actually fence Saber? All right. So, because we don't have any electric stuff for Saber, I'll probably say plugged in just to save time, but the machine won't go off at all. So we'll just solely be trying to rely on figuring out. Scott's a bit more of an expert with right away with Saber because he's actually done it more than me. Yes, I'm using a turned over trash can as a table. So, you looking to come here next semester or next fall?
Next one.
All right. Since I think a little slower, there's a chance I might still be here. Yeah. I'm only taking like a few classes each semester, not like some people take like 6 a semester. And that's like how many you need to take to get out after 2 years. So, yeah. So much fun. So much fun. Scott, I'll let you primarily lead this. So like I mentioned, you have more experience. Just one slow, give me a second. lucky with ones that have a French style grip. So this is more of a French style grip. What I use over there is it's called a pistol grip, and it's more of a modern style. And anyone who's competing on a tip level after the first few years will always get a pistol grip. It's generally a lot better. It's more of a natural grip to it. This you'll feel your fingers going to strain and get tired, and eventually it will slip out of your hands, no matter how strong of a grip you have on your blade. But with the pistol, it's more relaxed, and the technique is historically accurate. So, greetings. Feel free to come all the way over here. We're actually doing a little bit of saber right now, which is not what we normally do, but we were talking about, so we decided to show it off anyway. Please don't slash like right here. I don't want to take all the stuff off again and put it back on. Ready? That's. You got me.
So now this, anything, arms,
Torso, yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to get his arm on the side when he would extend, but I tried, I missed. My blade went under his arm. He came and just tapped me really nice and lightly, like right here. So, just got 1-0. Also, yes, technically on guard position is a little bit different from foil. Foil, you more point at your opponent because you have to poke your opponent. But for sabers, the slashing is okay. So let's generally bring your blade up a bit more like this. So, ready? That's. One. Ready? Also, feel free to come to the other side of the camera if you want. You can just ignore it. Ready? Thanks. Sorry.
That's
To
okay.
your point,
Oh,
I was trying to go up and to have a bit more, which isn't the safest thing. But I was trying to, but so it didn't work out. You want a minute, Scott?
I'm good. All
right. Ready? So the earphones will be 2-1. Thanks. Two. Ready, Scott? Thanks. Oh, I felt that. Or heard that, I should say. 32. By the way, feel free to ask questions in between when we stop fencing if you want. First one to explain things, and after the match I can explain things in more detail about what's actually going on. Ready, Scott? Thanks. Back up my arm. 14. Ready?